River Liffey, in Dublin, the capital city of Ireland, Alan Thomas, the skipper of the merchant ship Canute, scans the scene with his binoculars, looking for a boat bargain. For the vessel under his command is to act as an escort to Bill Helm and Phil Martin in their attempt to cross the Irish Sea by motor car.
Yeah, roger.
In addition to the skipper, the MV Canute carries as crew Peter Stoyles, Harold Wilkinson, who besides attending to general seafaring duties also acts as cook, Danny, the skipper's son, who, during school holidays, is effectively the youngest engineer in the business. On the journey to Dublin, the ship has been tossed about like a cork. The gale is not now so severe, but although it's pleasant on the river, the sea is still far too rough for a motor car. For 3 whole days, Bill, with his car, and Alan, with his ship, must wait until conditions are suitable for an attempt at a crossing. The Dubliners take Bill and his water beetle in their stride, although it cannot be denied that the visitors from England have strange ways. They expect their stout to be served as quickly as their bit of beer. And it isn't often that a duck travels up the Liffey at 8 knots, or a car goes under rather than over the suspension bridge. This, surely, is the stuff of which legends are made. Who knows whether some Celtic bard might compose a folk song to commemorate the event.
Yeah, roger, I'm going to be loud and clear here, Phil, over. Yeah, I'm getting you all right, over.
Tomorrow, the sea will be calm, and the Beetle will set sail for England. In 4 days, Bill Helm has made friends with Dublin, and Dublin has made friends with Bill. But the time comes when friends must part, and preparations are well in hand for the trip across the Irish Sea.
Every so often, Alan, every 5 or 6 hours, you just do record mileage.
Sounds good, cool, Charlie. I'm good, though.
Have you seen the first engineer, Alan? Oh, I.
The first engineer is a popular fellow with visitors and well-wishers, especially the children.
Yeah, and then what do we do? What? Just split it all.
The skipper, Alan Thomas, fits a special logging device to measure the distance that the car has travelled. Ship now part company, for the slipway down which Bill Helm and Phil Martin must drive to enter the water is a little way along the river. Friendly Dublin says goodbye. Even the customs officer offers his good wishes.
Jump, Sam.
Neil Cross, who is the photographer for the voyage is on the deck, camera at the ready. The Liffey is a long river and Dublin Bay is a wide bay. There are many miles to travel before either ship or boats bargain lose sight of land. And friendly weekend sailors greet the Beetle all along the route. And some 46 miles later, Neil decided that he would like a photograph of Alan, the skipper of the Canute, shaking hands with Bill. It's a tricky maneuver and takes more than one attempt, but Bill and Alan are persistent. And in the end, Neil gets his picture. Time is getting on, and the inner man demands satisfaction. Harold has made a hot meal, and he and Danny make sure that Bill and Phil get the food while it is still hot. At this time of evening, it can be deceptively light at sea. On land, it would be dusk, but where land absorbs light, water reflects it, giving an illusion of broad daylight. Something has gone wrong. It sounds as if a cylinder has backfired. Perhaps the electrics have failed. Whatever is at fault, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. There won't be much time to put it right before darkness falls, and gale conditions are forecast for the hours of darkness. The engines of the Canute are idling. If the car is to continue its journey, now is the best time to refuel.
Going back, we knew it, we did. speed up with the throttle and go faster.
Yeah.
We were actually, when we got into the ring, we were on left than we were when we were on 45.
What about when you right up turn? Do you have to go use left road then?
Yeah, when we were on 45, we only went flat.
Yeah.
Right? And then it blew up and it all at once. We whistled to go down this lane. And he eased up, went round it lane. As soon as we got round it lane, we just speeded up side the boat on stage, right?
Yeah.
We weren't giving it another end.
Yeah. Gonna try and work on it while you're cooling.
The waterproofing of the vehicle has effectively insulated most of the working parts. It won't be possible to do any major repairs in the middle of the Irish Sea.
Otherwise,
Okay.
don't want to be through with one way.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, you passed your record, mate. Congratulations. Passed your record.
Beating his previous record. Both log and calculation say that he's covered some 61 miles, more than double the previous figure for a converted production model car. But this is cold comfort to Bill at present. The water is getting choppier, and both Bill and Phil don life jackets. If the engine still refuses to work when the car has been refueled, the attempt will have to be abandoned. In minutes, it will be completely dark, and only minutes later, there will be a force-five gale blowing in the Irish Sea. Bill and Phil ask to be towed behind the ship. If they can't make it to England on their own steam, they reason, they can at least do the trip in the car. It's first light. When the engine of the car stopped working, so did the heater and the pump. Bill and Phil are both wet and cold. The skipper, who knows well the dangers of hypothermia at sea, advises Bill that if he should collapse in the car, it would mean risk for the crew member who would have to rescue him. Bill agrees to be towed into the nearest port.
Yeah, well, the waves are hitting you more on the nose now than what they were last night. Last night they were on the side of the car, on the beam. So it tends to push the bow down when you get a big wave. It's the bonnet with the shape over. Yeah.
The nearest port is in the opposite direction to that in which the ship is traveling. So Alan alters course and makes for the Isle of Man.
Well, you get back on shore and you bloody alarm it. You get in your bed and you'll be left there on the side of it. I wish it would be very simple, though. You what, do, but still it's above their board line and
The storm of the previous night has left the trawler in trouble. The engine room is flooded and the Coast Guard is called out.
it's pulling through, could be. What's pulling through? It's pulling through. Oh, yeah. Not yet.
Land looms near. Buildings, as well as hills, can now be seen with the naked eye. The car must now be tied to the side of the ship in order to dock at the quayside. This is a tricky operation involving risk to the propeller and rudder. Tempers become frayed.
Good feature. Yeah, oh, well. don't want to lift the ball.
Port St Mary, a small fishing village on a small island, is the landing place of the water beetle. There are no cheering crowds, but there is a video cameraman to record the final part of the story. Peter Stoyles paddles the car to shore, and Harold Wilkinson helps to bring it to land. There, on the dock side, the beetle looks curiously dead, but it's only sleeping. Before long, the fault will be located and the machine will be modified, and Bill will be wondering about another attempt. But that is another story. The present tale must end here, outside the Customs House in Port St Mary in the Isle of Man.
Well, we've heard that, in fact, Bill Helm, the helmsman, has had to postpone his trip to the Isle of Man rather sadly because of 20 to postpone his attempt on his own 61-mile record on Friday because of high waves. When he finally set off, he sailed into mechanical problems. The water pump blocked and Bill had to be towed in from halfway across the Irish Sea. Voorsprung durch Technik, I was going to say.
I hope you heard that.
Yep.